Good evening. Thank you. I'm essentially a grocer here in Philadelphia. And of course, our work took an interesting turn because we with our work with many public officials and people that are interested in alleviating poverty, we realized that there was a problem with access to food for many people of modest means in this city and in this country. And we've been working on strategies to build supermarkets in those kind of neighborhoods, generally in public-private partnerships of various different kinds. And we have pushed the envelope on this work. Our last store on Fox and Roberts has a health clinic, has nutrition services, has a entitlement advocate that you go to and they evaluate your circumstances, try to help place you with appropriate public benefits. Has a pharmacy, has a credit union where you can have an account without any money in the account for when you do have money, and alleviates the need for check cashing stores and other predatory products. And so we've taken the idea of the lack of access to food and have expanded it to the things that, the other things that people lack generally in underprivileged communities. And we've also set up a nonprofit, Uplift Solutions, because some of the things we've done are highly technical and difficult for grocers and public officials to coordinate on their own, and we provide technical assistance to do this nationally. We've worked in about 35 states, essentially with the same somewhat simple objective: get access to food, healthcare, financial services, other services in areas where they currently don't have them, as a strategy to sort of normalize, stabilize underprivileged communities. So I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
Our next panelist is no other than Raheem Islam.
Good afternoon. I represent a couple hats. Well, one hat is Universal Companies, and we're primarily in the business of rebuilding neighborhoods, rebuilding people. We operate under a concept called the Universal Plan, and that plan basically is trying to create and strategies to take historically African American neighborhoods and rebuild them from within, not having massive gentrification or massive relocation. When they say, many times they say urban renewal, they mean urban removal. And our goal is to keep some of those historic neighborhoods intact, create neighborhoods of choice within those neighborhoods that people who have means, when they get means, they don't just move out of the community. And we do that primarily through a number of different ways, but three areas that we work on. One is education. In Philadelphia, we have 8 charter schools. In an area we're working in South Philadelphia, Point Breeze and Grace Ferry, we have actually a K-12 system. We have about 1,700 students between kindergarten and 12th grade in 4 schools. But we also have schools in other areas. We have 4 schools in Milwaukee, and we have 2 schools very open in Baltimore. But all of those areas we like to work this whole concept using education and the facilities, education facilities to work within to create stable neighborhoods, starting with education. And then the other area that we kind of circumvent circle of the education is physically rebuilding neighborhoods, creating mixed income communities, and also creating, most importantly, even though it's a very limited aspect of it, but creating jobs. There's temporary jobs from construction. I mean, the finished product is you have rebuilt neighborhoods, but also you create jobs, you create energy, you create excitement, and the goal also is to get to a point where we're actually creating permanent jobs, like where we have investment like ShopRite can come in, and they now clearly want to invest in the neighborhood. So that's the goal of Universal. And the third kind of leg of the universal plan to kind of create these kind of stabilized neighborhoods is community organizing. And I remember hearing, one time hearing earlier when the president, Barack, was saying he was an organizer, I said, poo-poo, what is an organizer? And I found that I was an organizer, but I was organizing from a transactional perspective. I would organize the community to do this, or to do that, or to do this, or to as part of the process. I didn't understand the need that the community, these communities that are disadvantaged, they lack a voice. And so organizing a community is essential to restoring the community, rebuilding the community. And organizing the community, organizing all aspects of the community is the most important thing we can do, or we won't be able to get this done. And we flipped the script a little bit, and I'll just be quiet, but we flipped the script to, instead of a public-private partnership, we say a private-public partnership. Thank you.
I like that too, Raheem. And then there is Sister Mary Scullion from Project Home. They say that she has a special relationship with God, so listen carefully.
Thanks, Kelvin. It's great to be here today, especially to talk about public-private partnerships, because with the Philadelphia Housing Authority under Kelvin's leadership and his colleagues at the Philadelphia Housing Authority, we've just seen what is possible when you have a really true public-private partnership. Project Home is an organization, a community of people from all walks of life that are committed to preventing and ending homelessness. We do it in 4 ways. H, housing. So we have a little bit over 600 units of housing for people that are homeless, with 200 more in pre-development. O, opportunities for employment. We have a couple businesses, the Homepage Cafe at the Free Library of Philadelphia, if anybody wants to go there for lunch tomorrow, or Homespun, which is a resale boutique at 1500 block of Fairmount Avenue, and Homemade, which is different products that are made by Project Home residents, soap, candles, cards, whatever. Okay, and then obviously competitive employment too. And then M is medical care. This is HOME. M is medical care. And we have a strong partnership with Thomas Jefferson University Hospital to do access to primary care, behavioral health, dental, and a YMCA, actually in partnership with PHA in a Choice Neighborhoods, which we hope will be soon a Choice Neighborhood development. And there, it's really, although the access to healthcare, and it's integrated healthcare, and I'm not going to go into all that, but it's really a state-of-the-art facility that is providing jobs and access and more leverage into rebuilding that community, as well as actually providing the services. And it's also an FQHC, a federally qualified health center. And then E is education. And so we have the goal of ending and preventing homelessness. So we say the single most important thing to ending homelessness today is affordable housing, but the single most important thing to ending homelessness for the future is a quality education for every single child. So to that end, we work in partnership with some of the charter schools, and we have K-12 after school programs, a college access program, an adult learning program, all at this Honickman Learning Center, Comcast Technology Labs, which is a technology center in North Central Philadelphia, again, in partnership with a lot of the tenants at the Public Housing Authority. And that's kind of awesome. Underneath all that, we really believe in the building of community and in advocacy. Again, we can work as hard as we want to, as efficiently and effectively as we want to, but without some just public policies, a lot of times we're just banging our heads against the wall, or just the water is coming down too fast and we're drowning. So we also see that an important part of our work is working to change public policy.
And the fourth and final panelist is Dr. Clet Nyikiza. Welcome.
Good afternoon or evening. it's actually a privilege to be here on many fronts. I remember 33 years ago, I passed through Philadelphia from Washington in a bus to join Indiana University as a young immigrant from Rwanda in East Africa. And I didn't stop for long because all I had was a Philadelphia cheese steak. I just kept going. But my name is Claire Tinichiza. I'm actually a scientist by training with a PhD in mathematics and a PhD in particle physics. But when I was working on those back in the 80s, when Reagan was still president, I got into a fight with my late wife because she did not like at all the idea that all the graduate studies that I had done were being used to build Tomahawk cruise missiles. That's when we were designing them. Now I can talk about them 20-some years back, later. Then she challenged me to do something different. And I decided that perhaps instead of what I was doing, I should switch and go into medical research, which was an adventure. So I moved from Indiana University after I finished to Palo Alto, California, and worked on something that today I get a lot of interesting comments on, and it's the discovery and development of Aleve, as you know it. This was a new generation of the previous class, and I still get some interesting comments, especially from ladies, that they really like Aleve. It's good. It's an anti-pain medicine. You use it for rheumatoid arthritis. But that didn't stop. And actually, I went on to join Eli Lilly and Company in 1991, where I was initially a mathematician in the biomathematics division, working actually on the discovery of two very important drugs today being used. One is Alimta, which is the #1 drug for treating lung cancer today. Another one is Gemzar or gemcitabine, which has been used extensively for not only lung cancer, but breast cancer, ovarian cancer. It went off patent actually a few, 3 years ago. Alimta is still going on. Another one that I was actually stumbling on by observing some data from mice is now Evista, which is extremely useful in treating not only osteoporosis in postmenopausal women, I see someone nodding, but also is actually the only drug approved in the world for the prevention of breast cancer. It's a product that I'm extremely proud of for having been at the ground floor in 1993. Thank you. So then, after that, I was actually interestingly